back, Clashers. Ryotin CCG here, bringing you the next opening in its Genesis Return lead-up month. I don't know if that's how you really want to say it, but that's basically I got. Don't mind my natural light coming in. Sometimes I like to have natural light come into the recording studio, but I'm rambling at this point. You guys are here for this box opening, and for this week, we are doing a lot of stuff. I feel like there's a lot of time we can go ahead now and start doing some more things with the Clash Kit. So the Clash Kit is a two-player Clash Kit that you normally get with every brand new release for Alpha Clash. This one, we have Pestilence and we have War. Now, both of these are two different versions than the ones that we have now. So let's go ahead and crack into it. Again, it's Pestilence versus War. Take a look at that box. We do have a new Pestilence contender and a new War contender. And then this one has 10 exclusive Clash Kit cards. So I found out recently there's an easier way to open these boxes that I never knew. I kind of always tear into them like a savage. But we're not going to be savages this time. We're not going to be all Harbinger-like. And I lied. They changed it. The box doesn't open the same way anymore. These have like these little pull tabs, so savage it is. And we're going to start off with the Pestilence deck, because that's a deck I know everyone would like to see first, even though I know that War may be a fan favorite. But let's start off with Pestilence. So one thing that did change in these that's kind of shocking to me is there are no more AXO cards, which has kind of been a staple since set 1. If you don't know what an AXO card is, a exclusive card that comes in the Clash Kits, and they have a chance of being gold. It's 1 out of every 10. It is gold, so you buy a case, you're guaranteed to get it. But these ones does not have the XO. It's again just I think more exclusive cards in there. I'm actually very curious. What is your suggestions about that? How do you feel about the XO cards? Because again, like in the last one, you had Sniper Javelin, which actually works very, very well for this War deck. But getting into it, we do have the new Pestilence. It's 25 cost once per turn during your primary phase. You may move any number of toxic counters from your permanents you control to a Clash card, and if you move 2 or more, you do get to have your opponent discard a card. One of the exclusive cards we have in here, I do believe this is exclusive. No, this is not. It's not one exclusive card, but you do get a foil version of this card, and that is Pestilence the Virulent. Enter, put a toxic counter on a target Clash card. Defeat, you put a toxic counter, and you do get 4 copies of that. You get 2 foiled and 2 non-foiled. And then next up we have Pestilence, Harbinger of Desolation. Now this is a brand new card. I'm going to zoom in just a little bit so everyone can see these cards, because popping up on screen didn't work the way I wanted them to last time. But again, it's a good card. If you can read it, you can pause and read that effect now. But you do get 2, 1 foil, 1 non-foil. And then we got Pestilence, Affliction Giver. And as a trigger defeat, Clash cards you don't control, which has counters get -1/-1. It's a 3 cost, 3/3. You do get 2 foil, 2 non-foils. And then here is... Okay, that was a starter deck exclusive. Okay, so these are all the starter deck exclusives, so they do come right on top. And this is Pestilence, Padamite Warden. And it is a 4 cost whenever this card deals Clash damage to a contender. That contender control discards 1 card. If Clash card is discarded this way, non-Harbinger Clash cards get -2, -2. So again, it's just more of ripping cards out of your opponent's hand. And you get 2 copies of those, 1 foil, 1 non-foil. And I think those are all of the exclusive cards. Moving into the reprints we get in the set, you do get 4 copies of Low Earth Orbit. 2 copies of Pestilence Mayhem Maker. 4 of the Infestation buffs. You get a set 4 card in here, which is Pestilence, the Repulsive. When it enters, you discard 1 card. You do get 4 copies of that. You get 2 copies of one of the most busted Clash Grounds in this set, which is Noxious Alleyway. It's a counterattack. You may engage this card. If you do, move 1 toxic counter from relic you control to target attacking Clash card. And then Clash cards get -1 attack for each toxic counters on them. So again, if you're just spreading toxic counters around, you can make your opponent's board have, go into the negative attack range, which is confirmed that if you go below 0, it does go to negative. And you get 2 copies of that. 2 copies of Plague Breaker, which is target enter, you -3/-3. 2 copies of Devourer's Vow, and this is how you'll really stack up your toxic counters by just basically once per turn you can engage this card, put a toxic counter on it, use Pestilence, move things around. So this being only 2 in the deck is kind of weird because I feel like this is probably one of the only relics that really can ramp up toxic counters. So having 2 is very weird to me. You get Defiling Interference, which has just always been a bad card in my opinion. So you get 4 copies of that. Effective Presence, I guess, is another one, but this costs 4, which is a relic, and when you enter, it gets 3 toxic counters. But at the end of each turn, you have to remove 1, and then once there's no toxic counters, it kind of goes away, so you do get 2 copies of that. You do get Coggin Blazing Dragon, where you send target relics to Oblivion. Please be aware, if the only relics are out are yours, you have to destroy one of them. So again, not sure why. I understand why this is in here because it works against that deck, but again, it's just something that I don't see. Tattered Shackled is a set 4 card, which is very, very good. It's 2 costs. You play 2 green to attach it. You cannot target your Pestilence Contender with Clash buffs. But every time you attack, you can engage this card and draw a card. Then you can discard as many cards you want to from your hand, and your Pestilence gets +1, which is really, really good. You only get 2 copies of that. You got Scrap, which we've seen a lot in Michael Hamilton's list. You get 2 copies of that as well. You get one of the worst cards in the entire game, Punishment, where you only play this card, your opponent plays a buff, and you choose a card to get -3/-3. So you get 2 copies of that. And this card, I'm actually extremely shocked about that's actually in the deck, which is the I Am card, which is I Am Decay. As you don't know, each Harbinger in set 4 did get an I Am card. And to get 4 copies of I Am Decay, if you're looking to play Pestilence, I feel is just perfect for this. Now what it does is discard 2 cards, draw 2 cards, and the portal is open. You distribute X toxic counters among number of target Clash cards you don't control. X is equal to how many cards you discard from your hand that turn. So again, getting 4 copies of I Am Decay is really, really good. I mean, yes, it is an uncommon, but look at the pull rates that I've been pulling from the boxes. Getting uncommons is a little bit harder. It's kind of almost how it was in set 1. Uncommons and rares are a little bit harder to pull all of them. So based off and get 4 copies, I feel it is great. So that is the Pestilence deck. I think it's very fine. Of course, there's some cards in there that you definitely can change out. Remember, these are just starter decks, so you're not going to get the best lines, the best cards, or even the best cards you're not going to get 4 copies of. But I feel like there's some improvements that can be done very cheaply. Now, on to the one that I'm the most excited for, which is good old War. This is the second version of War. It's a 25 cost now, so it's not 30. And again, I don't know if I mentioned it, but Pestilence is 25 with 1 attack, so it's no longer a defensive contender. And then this War, it just kind of has a weapon attached to it with Javelin in its name. You can create 1 red War Minion Clash token when it attacks. Then once per turn, whenever you unattach a weapon from this contender, you may draw a card. Very, very good. And then we have 4 copies of Gravity Javelin. Gravity Javelin, I feel like, is really good late game for when you're going for that final kill. Because what it does is you can trigger, when you trigger attack, so again, you're creating a token just off a war skill in general. But then when you attack, you pick 2 Clash cards, and they cannot obstruct this attack. This card cannot be obstructed. The next time you attack with a card, those 2 cards must obstruct. So again, your opponent is trying to hold on some defensive cards. You can attack with this one, unattach it, draw a card, and then swing in with a token and make them obstruct that card. So you do get 4 copies of it, 2 foil, 2 non-foils. I think that's pretty good. You get 2 copies of War Harbinger Madness. It has Breakthroughs 5 costs. Trigger enter, you may send 1 War Minion Clash card, 1 Minion Clash token to Oblivion. If you do search deck for weapon, put on top of your deck. That skill is okay. It allows you to kind of filter out the weapons you want, and that's why I said again, having that Sniper Javelin from this Clash kit is going to be very, very important for this one, because looking at all the Javelin cards so far, I do feel Sniper Javelin is the best one because it costs 2, you attach it for 1, and it gets +1, and when your opponent attacks with a card, you can detach it, draw on their turn, and deal 2 damage to attacking clash card. So I feel that one is the best Javelin. Gravity Javelin is definitely the second. There's another Javelin in this deck that I feel like is probably one of the worst that's perfect as a one-off in the deck, and you can use this one to put on top. Next we have War Turn Tyrant, and as a 3 cost has Observant, meaning it cannot attack when it enters. But trigger enter clash tokens you control get +1 to end the turn. Again, I feel like this is a very good card to really finish off your opponent because you just give your cards, your War Minions +1 defense, not a swinging for 1/2 or 2/2, and you can just keep ramming them in there. 4 copies, 2 foil, 2 non-foils. And then we have that Fire Javelin, which is a starter deck exclusive. And yeah, Fire Javelin, it does give your contender +1/+1. And then when this weapon is attached to your contender, War Minion tokens you control get trigger defeat. Deal 1 damage target clash card. At the end of your turn, unattach this weapon. Again, Fire Javelin is really good. I feel like this is a card that's definitely a one-of in your deck. The deck does come with 2, but I feel like it's one of because you can easily search it out. And it's just one of them cards that, again, it kills. It does what Sniper Javelin does, but it does it a little bit worse, in my opinion. You do get somewhere in San Francisco, you get 4 copies, which gives your contender +1 attack. So again, if you're on Sniper Javelin, now you're swinging for 3. If you're on Fire Javelin, you're swinging for 3/1. So you still will take 1 point of damage. So it is really, really good with this deck because you are attacking with your contender a lot. You get 2 copies of Warzone, which I feel is kind of. I feel like this deck doesn't really benefit from Warzone besides the Clash tokens. But I feel like you can remove this and play another Clash card if you want. But Warzone is a reprint. We do get 4 copies of Decimation. Decimation, remember, cannot target your contender. Does target Clash cards. So again, I feel like this is a deck that you can kind of remove the Clash buff and just slot in 4 extra cards. We have 4 copies of War Battle Tactician. 4 copies of War the Provocateur. 2 copies of Strifebringer. 2 copies of Warhorn. Rather the Forces, I feel like, again, this is a card you'll take out the deck immediately if you're upgrading because it's a trap and you can create a War Minion token. It just doesn't, it's not that good. Spoils of War, I feel like it's even worse. And I'm just grateful there's only 2 cards in here. And then we have another set 4 card. It's a new War card, which is War Rampant Rival. And this one is really, really good. Trigger attack to the end of the turn, this card gets +1 for each War Minion card that has attacked this turn. And then whenever a War Minion is defeated, this card gets +1 defense. And then if this card is defeated, you create a token so it can replace itself. You get 2 copies of this. Again, this is something that is great that it's not starter exclusive because you can get it from the boxes, but this is one of the cards I feel like changes War for the better. I don't remember, this card came out set 3. I truly don't even remember it, but you get 2 copies of it. You get collateral damage, which I do like. And the best card you get, again, is 4 copies of I Am Chaos. I Am Chaos, basically, if you send a target Clash token you control to Oblivion, then deal 2 damage to target contender or Clash card, and the portal is open, you create 2 more tokens. And if you have War contender, it costs only 2 to play. So again, if the portal is open, you can send a War Minion, deal 2 damage to something, and then create 2 more. I Am Chaos is definitely really good. I feel like all the I Am cards are really, really good. So those are the decks. Or the Clash decks. So again, if you like this video, let me know down below. And if you also want to see how to upgrade these decks, let me know in the comment section down below, and I can make those videos. I want to do 2 different videos. How to upgrade the decks on a budget, and how to upgrade the deck if you want it to really be competitive play. Let me know. But if you also want to see these decks in action, me and Jay Crane are actually going to play these 2 decks Wednesday. This video should go up on Saturday. I don't know dates, but Wednesday, we'll actually battle these 2 decks out. We'll probably do them as is, and won't do any upgraded ones. But again, stay tuned for that one. I'll link his TikTok down below. Until next time, this is Ryotin.
I step into the ring, ready for the fight. With a hunger in my eyes, I'm taking flight. I walk with confidence, I wear the crown. Ain't no one gonna knock me down. I'm the Alpha, the king.